welcome to the spectacular Yas Marina circuit, where you join us live for the Abu Dhabi Autonomous Racing League, A2RL, back for season 2, where this year we have had 11 teams from around the world enter. You can see them making their way onto track now. Let's not forget, though, that this is like no ordinary race. These are autonomous race cars, which means, to be clear, we have no human drivers. It is quite a sight to behold. A global showcase, if you like, of just what can happen when autonomous technology is pushed to its absolute limits on one of the most iconic race circuits in the world. My name is Nikki Dean. It's my great pleasure to be here trackside to bring you all the action. But I'm not alone. I have got a fantastic presenting team working alongside me. Let's cross now to two of them over in the commentary booth, Harry Benjamin and Alexander Bodo.
We'll save you, Nikki. Yeah, welcome to the other side of the paddock. We're just behind the garages, overlooking the bay with the hotel behind us. Alexander's alongside me. We've got a great night ahead of us, haven't we?
Harry, I can't wait, as we got to see the most exciting AI competition these days. The teams have improved so much. The AI has improved, the cars has improved, the scenery is beautiful. I'd say everything is ready for a great night.
Absolutely. It's getting busy, I think, Nikki, where you are, so we'll throw it back to you.
It absolutely is. I've moved out of the way, so I won't get knocked into again, though. It is all going here. People are getting really excited. The cars are going onto the track. But let's not forget all of the humans, the great ingenuity behind the machines, which we will also be bringing you to throughout the show. But for now, let's cross over to Alex Brundle. Alex, how are you?
I am absolutely excellent, thank you, Nikki. Now remember, 6 of the 11 teams competing in A2RL this year have made it through to the grand final. These teams are backed by teams of coders who are often as young as recent graduates or even students at the universities or institutions who have entered the car. And here at the Technical University of Munich, it's no different. I'm joined by Professor Markus Lienkamp, who leads the TUM team, who find themselves on pole position here and are victors from last year. But you've seen a tremendous improvement, a tremendous development, haven't you, from the first inaugural A2RL to this year's contest?
Yeah, definitely. What we've seen from last year to this year, first of all, the car improved remarkably. We have a very stable chassis, very stable computers, sensors, and so on. The conditions are perfect. A2RL made a great job here to give the best boundary conditions to test our code.
Now the grand final is the highlight of our build, but we've got a whole day full of racing action. Let's go back to Harry and Alexander to find out the full program.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It certainly is a full day's schedule. Of course, we would have had the silver race as well a little earlier on for the teams that didn't quite make the grand finale. So the 5 teams in that effectively going for a time trial and gathering crucial data. But it is all about that grand final later in the program. 6 teams for 20 laps, or about half an hour. Whichever comes first will race it out, and there are those 6 teams. Team TUM leading the way. We'll also have teams Unimore representing Italy, Kinetis representing the UAE and Singapore, TII representing the UAE, Polymove from Italy, and Constructor Racing. Well, a really diverse lineup based in Germany. So there is a lot to look forward to, not least the human versus artificial intelligence demonstration. We'll have Daniel Kvyat against Team TUM's motorsport AI driver, Haley. But right now, let's find out a little bit more about this event and the organisers, and we can hear from the CEO of Aspire.
We've been able to have very quality cars, reliable cars, able to integrate the platform of the Dallara car with the autonomous kit, but more importantly is speed that some of the teams have been able to reach very, very close to a human car, and in some conditions also beating the human car. This year we have been growing the league. We were 8 teams last year, we are 11 teams this year. More importantly, the quality of these teams, at least 6 of them are able to perform the multi-car race at speeds very close to the humans.
Stefan Timpano there, the CEO of Aspire. I mean, Alexander, this really has come such a long way in a short amount of time, and the sheer amount of tech that's packed into these cars is really something quite incredible.
Yeah, let's not forget that's the quickest car outside Formula 1 the guys are dealing with and racing here. So the AI really has power at hands. That's the Super Formula car equipped with an AI stack on top. And the teams got to improve the software AI lap by lap, month by month, week by week. And they've come quite a long way. I mean, last year we had decent cars. cars, don't get me wrong, but this year it's much improved. And we'll see the autonomous versus human race unfolding, and it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, all of the cars exactly the same when it comes to the baseline actual machinery, all based off a Super Formula chassis. That is the Japanese Premiership motorsport category, and this is the vehicle modified, the Emirates Autonomous Vehicle 25, one of the fastest single-seater race cars in the world, equipped with LiDAR, with radar, 7 cameras, 3 radar systems, 3 LiDAR systems. You got that front GPS as well, the central GPS just sitting on the top of the roll hoop with those 7 cameras, making sure that code that is all plugged in and powered by the teams goes straight into an incredibly high performance computer located where the driver would normally sit in that stack, Alexander.
That's a pure AI machine. If you want to go AI, that's beyond anything that you'd see outside A2RL. We have perception sensors, we have localization sensors, we have a strong AI machine at the core, and everything a team needs to take AI to the edge.
Well, let's take a look at how the race is going to unfold very shortly.
So 11 teams actually signed up for the second season of A2RL this year, and those 11 teams, they had to pass systems and performance tests. They had to make sure they can bring everything it needs, and they manage with the expectation and requirements of this highly stressful environment. Out of the 11 teams, 7 teams made the cut, 7 teams made it, and then went on into sprint races, into qualifying races, to really find out who are the 6 teams, who are the 6 AI cars that can perform the best and on the limits of artificial intelligence here. And I'm glad to see we have the 6 teams that you've mentioned, from TUM to Constructor, racing today for the grand final.
And a huge prize pool on offer as well, as you just saw there, over $2 million in total after all the various qualification stages. And it has been a long ride up here. Let's take a look at how the rules work. So, the top 6 fastest teams will race it out over 20 laps in this grand finale. It'll be a rolling start as well, for all the cars accelerating together. But there will be track limits, and they will be monitored by race control. The cars must stay within the white lines at all times. And we expect and hope to see some wheel-to-wheel racing. So, only one change of direction is allowed when defending and when attacking, which will be incredible to see these AI cars at it. And the same goes for contact. No contact permitted. A huge test bed currently going on here under the lights at the Yas Marina circuit, the fastest science experiment in the world. There's so much going on, so let's cross back over down trackside to Alex Brundle.
Absolutely, Harry. EAV24 has become EAV25, and there are a number of improvements to the platform of the car for this year. Nicola Palacci, Chief Technical Officer of Aspire, is here with me to explain all about those. Give us a feel for what's changed this year on the platform the teams are using.
Yes, sure. First of all, welcome everyone. Very happy to have so many people here. The car has been changed not on the vehicle dynamics side, but has massively been improved under the reliability side. What we do, we want to provide the team a more stable platform, being able to lap more and for longer. This allows every team to fetch more data, to experiment, to improve the AI. And the results we can see today. These cars have improved from last year, above our expectations. I think nobody, even from us, would expect the human and the autonomous car to be so close in what the show we saw before. And the number of laps that we cover is staggering. We went close to 5,000 laps in the short time that we had from last year to this year, which is a very good amount of laps, if you want to say. And we have very little amount of incident or mechanical failures. I think this speaks a lot about the work that we have done. Complete new architecture, complete new structure for the autonomous driving and the interior systems.
Improvements to the battery system, improvements to the reliability of the cars. Guys, it sounds like the team have got a great architecture to plug in that autonomous code.
Certainly, Alex. I mean, Alexander, just the software being refined alone, along with the actual machinery, everything has taken a step up with the involvement of A2RL this year.
I mean, it's not only about the code or the AI, it's about the framework that you need to provide. If you speak about Gen AI on a global scale, you have data centers which needs power supply, they need internet connectivity. So there's a whole bunch of systems and controls around the platform of AI. And what A2RL have done here is absolutely exciting. We had the pleasure to watch the cars early on, and it's simply impressive. I mean, A2RL have touched, since last year, every component of the car. They've touched the safety systems, the steering systems, the brakes of the car, all the components, all the safety components, mechanical components, and now we have a very stable car. And whilst these are all technical details, effectively the teams have gathered 60% more data for the same running time compared to last year. And if you speak about AI, AI is purely data driven to train the models. AI needs data to operate the car, and since then the AI has improved.
Well, only in its second season, A2RL already improving in a 360-degree manner. Let's head back down trackside and into the pit lane to Nikki Dean. I believe you have someone.
Do indeed, and it's my new friend Marco Bertogna. I hope I said that right. Team principal at Unimore and indeed a professor at the university. It's a big moment leading up to here. You are starting in P2, but you were telling me, bragging a little bit earlier, that you've actually got the fastest lap time. So how are you feeling right now?
A bit nervous, of course, because we did the best we could up till now, but everything depends also on what will happen after the start, you know, so we will do our best. We will try to get the fastest lap as well. I don't believe Toom will leave us the best time so easily, and I'm gonna see that he is likely to see some nice overtake or overtake attempt in just in a few minutes.
Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, Unimore lining up in second for the grand finale race later on. But Alexander, I mean, where do we go from here? What is all this going to do for the wider world beyond the track?
I mean, the impact of A2RL is massive. It's just big. And if you just take the concepts of the different teams, every team has a style of operating, of creating the AI. Just take the Japanese team. Japanese culture known for being a little conservative, a little safe, so it took them a while. They're new on the grid, and they've moved up since October so massively. Take the German guys, the reigning champions, TUM. They probably have the most structured, most stable car under control, so they can operate on the upper limits of the car at all time. And then take the Italians, we've just heard from Unimore. They probably have the most complex car, the most complex AI on the grid. If you get it handled, if you get it managed, it's the quickest car. I mean, they've set the track record with their car, but they actually have to get it under control. So we can learn about concepts for AI development, what works, what doesn't work. And maybe more importantly, safety regulations and safety systems. Take AI to a racetrack. You're operating the car on the edge, on the limits, over 200 kph. You're racing side by side. You have competitive overtakes. That gives so much data and so much learning for safety systems which are valid for anything AI on the globe.
Here's the national anthem. Welcome back to our commentary, our studio position. But it is not just Alexander and I. I'm joined by Alex Brundle, who's made his way over, and of course, the former Formula One driver, Daniel Kvyat, who is the human in the human versus AI showcase that we are about to have a little talk through. Daniel, firstly, thanks for joining us. A2RL, you've been involved with since the start. How have you seen and enjoyed the progression of this as a series?
Yes, like you said, being in this project from day one, it's been a fantastic journey. Starting maybe minutes away from the human reference, which means me, to then 10 seconds last year and around 1 second a lap this year. It's a huge progress, so I want to congratulate everyone in A2RL for this massive steps. It's a fantastic platform that they offer in A2RL for brilliant minds from different institutes, and it's great to see this.
Daniel, you've done obviously the racing, but all of the practicing and preparation as well. Have you got used to it yet? That there's not a driver in the other car, or does it still feel bizarre when you're out on track chasing it?
You know, the thought of it, yes, for sure is bizarre, but in the end of the day, like now, especially when the gap becomes smaller and smaller and their lines look more and more realistic and their braking points and everything are much closer to myself, it just looks like another target in front of you, which you're just trying to chase. So I would say it's very interesting, the steps they're making. If last year we were a little bit like playing, this year, of course, I had to, push and, of course, to be able to catch them nicely.
Well, we're seeing now how the showcase panned out. Of course, the AI left first, got a 10-second advantage out of the pit lane. You followed, and after a couple of warm-up laps, it was then 10 laps for Kvyat in the chasing car behind to see how close he could get to that AI car. I mean, the lap times as well that you and the AI car were doing. You know, in the end, I think you did about 57.5 over the course of the 10 laps, compared to Team Turm and Haley doing a 58.7. I mean, it just highlights how far this has come since the first time we did it last year.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. It's been brilliant. Also the lines that they're taking, the ability how they use tires. Yes, I see a lot of potential areas to work on. I want to see even more advanced technology involved, even more like bravery from engineers. I'm a big fan of different technologies, and I think they're doing a great job. And now to keep these last steps, they will be even more difficult. This last second to trim it down, it will require even more advanced work, and I'm really excited for all the engineers involved in the project, for what's to come. And I'm sure we will be able to use it for hopefully one day for automotive industry, who knows, aerospatial, sky's the limit at this point.
Obviously racing comes with its diminishing returns as you get closer and closer to the pace. In your opinion, having driven with the car for a decent amount of time, where is that last little bit of speed for the autonomous car? We know they don't use the curbs very much, for example. Do you think it's there or somewhere else?
Yeah, I would say, I think the instinct when you go from used tires also to new tires, like I'm always able to find like a quite a good step. For example, the ability, I think, to slide the tires, to have corrections, to go a bit over the limit of the slip capacity of the tire, but not to go enough over it to not make it too much. I think they still have some room to explore there, and I think to find the limit there will require, like I said, the newest, the most advanced technology, because the tire temperature, for example, changes so much through the corner, and it affects the car balance so much, and it's interesting to see how engineers will crack the solutions going ahead.
Yeah, you started off 10 seconds back, you got to within a second. Your best time, 57.569. Team Turm, the team giving themselves a round of applause, and well worthy as well, a 59.154. Is there anything you've learnt in particular? Has AI taught you something about how you drive and where you can advance your own skills?
I was thinking about like it could become eventually like a quite good driving training, because if I had, for example, used tires and they had new tires, and maybe it's even more evened out, I would really have to push to the absolute limit, to chase them. And I think it's very interesting. Learning, I would say, not maybe so much, because they've been learning from me also this last couple of years, which I'm very happy about to provide, as a benchmark, for all the engineers. But I think, it's becoming more and more impressive, and it's great to see.
I can feel your passion for it, genuinely, just sat next to you. So it really was really interesting, and a testament to you and the technology and the work that's been done by A2RL. We've still got more to come your way with the grand finale. Danny, thank you so much for your time. Before you go, you're looking forward to the grand finale. What are you expecting? How have you been watching all cars on track? We saw a bit of wheel-to-wheel racing in the build-up to this too.
Yes, I'm excited. I think it's a bit between Unimore and the TUM, so they've been doing an excellent job, but I think others have always this opportunity to make final steps. So yeah, I'm gonna run now and start watching the race, because I think this year there will be plenty of action.
Well, Daniel Kvyat, thank you so much for your time. We will let you go. Well, let's take a look then at how that grid lines up. You just saw there at the back the constructor racing team led by Ilya Shimchik, the team based in Bremen, Germany. As we get a look now at Ava, that's the AI entry from the Italian team Polymove, who are next up on the grid with the Politecnico di Milano entry, backed one of Europe's leading technical universities, made up of PhD candidates, researchers, engineers and graduate students as well. And another look at the Musa TII racing entry, Giovanni Po, the team principal of that team, with Musa as the AI technology. The code, really, it's all about how the teams differentiate their code. Different global entries with different ethoses as well, all being represented. We then head over to a joint entry between the UAE and Singapore. Kinetis are back, having been here last year, based though in Abu Dhabi, reflecting the Emiratis' vision to be at the forefront of future mobility. They're all about advanced technology and next generation thinking as well. They all about grit, determination, innovation and the ignition of ideas, and that is all fed into the code that this amazing group of people that we can get a look at are all about. And then on the second starting point we have Team Unimore, Gianna from Modena in Italy. 58.87 was the record they set, which beat the human benchmark, with a long track record in autonomy as the tyre warmers are taken off. Slightly different for this year. Of course, tyre temperature was an issue for our A2RL cars this time last year, but that has been improved. One of the many improvements made overall to both car, machine and technology. So Unimore then with the second best view in the house. They were a consistent top performer in season one, and this year they're all about focusing on reliability and robustness. But right at the front then, with the advantage, were absolutely incredible coming up through the qualifiers. Team Term, we've already seen the other Team Term entry in action against Daniel Kvyat. The defending champions led by Marcus Leenkamp and Simon Sagmeister, autonomous racing veterans, season one champions, and they are backed by 14 PhD researchers. They really envisage the spirit behind the machine there, the people and the energy. That is our lineup for our 6-car race. The humanoid is at the back with the green flag. We will get a warm-up lap. The track will be set to full course yellow, meaning a controlled speed of 130 kilometers per hour for safety checks. We'll then get the formation lap after that, once we're all happy with how the cars are performing, and they will form up in their correct order, because it's going to be a rolling start after turn 16. The green light is on, and A2RL Season 2 well and truly underway. The grand finale is on, led by Team Term, who head into turn 1, being rapidly chased by Unimore, and then comes a little bit of a gap back to Kinetis, TII Racing, Polymove and Constructor. A little further back, 6 cars in this race, 20 laps of racing ahead of us.
Yeah, it's these 2 cars, isn't it, that we've seen really quick throughout the whole of the free practice, throughout the whole of the qualifying process, Unimore and Term. And I would say that was a relatively aggressive start from Unimore in comparison to what we've seen through the week so far. They jump forward towards the rear of Team Term and are actually stalking them down that back straight. 0.8 of a second the gap on this first lap, and you can see what it means to them in the pit lane. And they can do absolutely nothing about the race which is panning out.
They have worked for months, for years, really, on the code that gets implemented into the computer stack that sits where the driver would normally be in your typical Formula Motorsport vehicle. And now the engineers and everyone working in the garage has to sit and watch. You can see them in the side of picture, some on the edge of their seats, some keeping their emotions closed until we get to the end of lap 20. Gap just increased slightly, 1.1 seconds between Term and Unimore, and they are really out and out here. Worth remembering, Team Unimore, the Italian-backed team from Modena, really are pushing for a software focus, and they close in under braking through the left-hander of turn 5. they'll get a natural lift of slipstream as well, helping them back, but just a slight differentiation in line. One of the main overtaking points will be at the end of this back straight, and I just wonder if we might get a little look. There's a twitch. We're going side by side in autonomous racing. Unimore to the inside, overtaking Team Tum. Team Tum has to back out of it. That was sensational from Unimore. The coders and the engineers in the back of the garage have done their job, and Unimore quick over one lap, quick in a race, and executed an overtake perfectly, Alex.
Tum looked slightly to defend towards the inside, then committed to the racing line. Unimore braking slightly later, brake discs aglow, takes the position. Tum spots it, a head look, and has to get right out of the throttle through the exit. There we go. AI overtake on lap 2 of A2RL Season 2.
Alexander, I look back to just over a year ago, and that was just such a highlight of how far this technology has come.
I mean, that's tremendous, and you can see the culture of the code. Unimore, Jana, just more aggressive, just on the edge, really stressing what's possible here, and really challenging Team Tum. Normally you would have expected quite a conservative race, not risking any crash, not risking any accident, but they actually go for it. They stick on the inside to take the overtake already in the second lap of the race, and that's tremendous. But what we'll expect from Team Tum is just to progressively improve lap time. The most structured car, Team Tum will learn, the car will get quicker and quicker and quicker lap by lap, and I'm wondering if Team Unimore takes it too aggressively in the beginning and will suffer from any form of tire degradation in the end.
Well, we saw how consistent Team Tum were in the human versus AI challenge. Of course, the Tum software was that which was used when they were racing against Daniel Kvyat, and it really delivered the same lap after lap after lap. So we'll see how that plays out through the rest of the race. But Unimore look really aggressive, more aggressive than I've seen any car start through any of the test races here. In the early stages, they've snatched the lead. They're not necessarily getting away, though, are they, from Tum? And indeed, Kinet is still there with a bit of a watching brief behind.
Absolutely, and we are all about pushing things to the extreme. So while you may be quick over one lap, one thing Unimore was certainly pushing for was reliability and robustness across Season 2 of A2RL. But we've still got a way to go yet. We're only coming towards the end of lap 4 of 20, but after a spectacular move down that back straight into the left-hander of turn 6, Unimore, who started second, are now starting to edge away. But you're absolutely right, Alex. Team Tum still very much in the picture, coming through the first corner now. In second, Kinet is not far behind either. TII Racing, Polymove, and Constructor, the German outfit with a huge mix of nationalities making up that entry at the back. And we get an on-board look, and you can just see the aggression from Gianna, the Unimore entry, as it tried to line up down the inside.
Commits there to the inside curb as well, which is something that I haven't seen too much of in the week so far. But you can almost see there each individual decision being made, can't you, from the car behind. And actually Team Tum lost a decent amount of time straight after the overtake by taking evasive action there through the exit of turn 6.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Alexander, for the team is being overtaken, you know, the response from them is equally as fascinating as the overtaking team, isn't it?
I mean, you can see what's going on. You can see, as Alex was saying, you can see the decision-making process of the AI. It really takes it. Every decision, every corner, every overtake, or the overtake that we have seen is followed and executed by a decision-making process. So we can actually see what is going on. But just looking onto what's going on, 5.3 seconds sparks, the Kinetis car is not to be underestimated. It's sitting there as competitive. It's dropping competitive lap times, actually. And that's really a surprise for me. Team Tum just stabilizing. I think they'll be getting there over the next course of laps. And just remember, we've not even reached 50% of the race distance, so it's a long way to go.
It is still a long way to go. We're getting a look at the TII entry. Musa, the United Arab Emirates entry, structured like a pro racing team. This one from TII, who were here spearheading things last year for the technology, seeing in A2RL. On board with Polymove. Now, what's the gap between them and TII? About 3.9 seconds, so just under 4 seconds here for the fight over fourth. And we've got a slow-moving car. Is that Constructor towards the back?
Something's happened there at the front,
Tum is
Harry.
close to within a second all of a sudden.
Yeah.
After 6 laps, now starting lap 7, Is this a fight back from Team Tum, or has something happened to Unimore that we've not seen?
Yeah, I don't know. They lost around 1.5 seconds in the last lap. So whether Unimore has made a mistake here, it commits very early to the inside there of turn number 5. And Tum giving the outside of the racetrack a decent berth as well. You can see these cars now back within the range of each other, where they're having to react once more to each other's inputs rather than being in just their mode of delivering lap on lap.
This is fascinating. After being overtaken, Team Tum is right back on the rear end of Unimore as we come around the final corner, and we'll head on to lap 8. So this is the main fight we're watching. It is the battle for the win here at this grand finale of the Abu Dhabi Autonomous Racing League 2025. The fight is on. 2 different cultures, 2 different teams, full of experience across motorsport and AI technology, battling it out. Gap just going back up towards a second, but I've been intrigued to see where Team Tum is out of turn 5, which they're approaching now.
Getting an idea, aren't you, of the aim of those 2 different pieces of code, I think, just from a layman's perspective from the outside. Unimore seems to be quicker but more prone to error as it loses a little bit of time again in that first sector, and Tum is coming back at it, look, as close as it's been, the Tum car down towards turn 6, which is the reasonable overtaking place, it must be said. Much better on the brakes there, but it tends to be a little bit wider the apex through the mid corner of 6 before cutting back for 7 and 8.
So is this, Alexander, 2 different code emotions that we're seeing play out right now? Aggression versus maybe prone to error but outright raw pace?
Just the different philosophies of the car, and you see how they're trying to massage the differences in vehicle dynamics and trying to massage the tires. I mean, Team Tum, completely different line, braking points a little different to Team Unimore, and this will help the tires over time. So you can see the teams really getting into vehicle dynamics and really understanding what's going on beyond the pure AI decision making of the machine. And we've just seen here, I mean, Team Tum are taking it now, right?
Almost a slightly early evasive action there, wasn't it, from Tum, that saw the car ahead and jumped towards that outside line. But at this stage of the race, Tum definitely looking quicker. Let's see what it can do about the Unimore ahead.
Late on the brakes once again from Team Tum. You're absolutely right there, Unimore much closer to the apex, with Team Tum running a little deeper, taking a wider line, and just loses out on the slingshot that takes you around the final corner, but then closes up again. Visibly a difference in racing line as well, even having a little look just to see how that inside is looking.
Move around in the mirrors, see if you can spook the AI ahead. I'm not sure that one's going to work out. Maybe they need to ditch that bit of code for next year.
And even coming through the right-hander as well, almost looked like the rear end of Unimore just slightly looked a little out of tune. Of course, we've got the tyres to think about too. Temperature was such a big issue last year, could cause a couple of these cars to spin. So far, we've taken a big step up when it comes to tyre temperatures.
Well, you're seeing front brake discs glowing there, and I think that's a little bit of a legacy position, to be honest, from the teams that struggled so much in the first year to get the front tyre working. And actually, almost it looks like they're putting a lot of temperature through those front brakes, and you wonder over 20 laps, which is one of the longer runs these cars will have done, whether that's actually going to be beneficial or just a little bit of a legacy method of running these cars that they'll look to change for later races.
Half a second just creeps up to nearly a second again as we start lap 11. We are now over the halfway point, and there is less than a second, but it's ebbing and flowing between the battle for the win here. Constructor lagging behind. They have gone a lap down. Between Kinetis and TII, that started to eke out a little bit too as the gap closes again between our top 2, and they are leaving Kinetis, who we just rode on board with there in 3rd, a little bit behind in their wake, but running a reliable race and a solid performance there from Sparks, sitting in 3rd. I want to get another look at what's going to happen down into the braking zone at turn number 5 between Unimore and Team Tum. Are we going to get a little look at it from on board? We go back off board, and it's as they were once again.
So that time Tum did jump right of the line in the braking zone, and was a similar proximity, wasn't it, to Unimore ahead. So last time it saw the car ahead, jumped slightly to the right, and then lost time through the exit. And look, this is the lappery that we were looking at.
And then we've got contact into the wall. We had a lapped car involved as well, and we've got contact here in A2RL as we started lap 1, heading into turn 1. Team TUM has been able to come out of that one unscathed, but Unimore has fallen foul, and we can see what AI can do. That's Constructor, so that's the team that was in 6th and last. And here we go then, coming into the braking zone, a lapped car in front of us tries to get out of the way, and then in trying to not hit the car in front, Unimore's race comes to an end. The front right suspension falls, and Team TUM finds the way clear.
Yeah, just the difference in pace there, so huge that Unimore just couldn't anticipate the which way the Constructor was going to go. You could see it trying to make the decision, and the TUM car, with so much more time actually as a result of being behind to make the call, manages to duck just inside.
I mean, Alexander, you can see the emotion that goes into this, and for Constructor, who has got damage on the rear left as well, they were gathering valuable data even if they were running at the back. But for a team like Unimore, they've all stopped now as we will have a red flag out on track, because that is obviously quite a bit of car to collect. We're now going full course yellow, so to manage their pace around the circuit, the remaining cars, because sadly we've lost 2 of them in the form of Unimore, who was leading this race after a spectacular overtake on Team TUM down towards turn 6, down the inside, aggression in the early stages, but then was actually being reeled back in by Team TUM, and then we had, well, the unfortunate position of having to lap Constructor as well, and the AI constantly learning as we headed into turn 1, and that took Unimore and Constructor out of the game. So Team TUM leads, with this team now, Kinetis, up into 2nd.
It looks like, is it the Constructor car still out there on the right-hand side in the runoff area? I saw a flashing light out there, which is why we might be
possibly, yeah,
still under full course yellow. Kinetis, the Singaporean and UAE collaboration, finds its way to 2nd position as a result of that little snafu between the Constructor car and the Unimore car, and they'll look to continue on. Also still out there, the Polymove machine, the other Italian car in the race.
Yeah, absolutely. But the laps then still, we're back on with laps then, so we ticked over to lap 13 as we continue to move around onto full course yellow as we continue the clear up of this. And I think I saw a green panel, well, for this team we've got a spin. It's Kinetis, who had worked their way up into 2nd. That's Kinetis, who have found themselves facing the wrong way. That looks like it's out of turn 5 as you come on to that long back straight. And you can see TII and Polymove will have to navigate that. Was that just a few moments ago? Yes, let's ride on board with Sparks, the entry from the UAE and Singapore as well, but based here in Abu Dhabi, coming into the left-hander. What happens?
It looks like just a cold tyre application of the throttle. Winners, of course, of the Sim Sprint this year for A2RL, simulated autonomous racing competition. And it's just an unexpected place, isn't it, for these cars to be? The tyres have now gone cold again. They've had to get back going under full course yellow, and just a little bit of an error under full course yellow conditions in those circumstances for Kinetis. Let's see if they can get going again.
So we've just seen full course yellow, the car was able to move again, red flag now, and I think they're just going to get into the order again, and then we get racing.
So that was interesting as well to see Musa from TII able to acknowledge the car and avoid it as well, as TII were all celebrating as they move up into 2nd spot, but Kinetis still stuck there on the exit of the corner.
And that's exactly what we were talking about right at the beginning of the race, isn't it? An unexpected avoidance, even under a full course yellow, is an amazing achievement for a team in autonomous racing, because that's not what it's not the sort of thing the car's expecting to do. And so they're naturally delighted that the car has managed to respond in that way and kept them in the race. I'll be really impressed if that Kinetis car can get itself back going again.
Green flag racing here at A2RL, but we are down to 4 cars. So it looks like Kinetis was able to get back up and running, but having inherited 2nd and in a solid 3rd, has now fallen to last of the contenders. Team TUM, who started on pole and now reclaims the lead with Unimore no more, along with Constructor, now leads TII Racing and Polymove up into 3rd, Kinetis trailing in 4th.
So at this point, the TUM car, with the pace that it's able to achieve, should be able to cruise to victory. The problem is, they can't tell it to cruise, can they?
No, because they've already clicked go.
Because they've clicked go. So it's going to continue on at unabated pace, when actually the team in the pits, what they'd love it to do is just cruise a second off its capable pace to victory, but it'll have to press on now because that's what it's expecting.
I mean, in this case, the AI doesn't consider the cars around. It doesn't consider the field. The AI will go as quick as it can go, and the AI must judge how quick it can go. I mean, again, a little cold tires here. Maybe we see a mistake from Team TUM. Maybe not. They're cruising now 25 seconds ahead of TII Racing. But we've also seen like reliability in the code and the ability to control the car in different conditions, in cold tire conditions, in warm tire conditions, in changing conditions. And obviously TII and Polymove were able to really control the car, keep the car on track, and they're now in best position to take the podium. 11 teams signed up for the second season of A2RL, and they had to perform stress tests. They had to perform safety and performance tests. Only 7 cars made the cut, and out of these 7 cars, A2RL made sure the 6 best cars are actually the 6 best AI engines are on the road today.
And that is what we were seeing. We had the silver race as well for those cars who didn't quite make the cut into the grand finale. That was earlier on today, and you'll be able to see clips of that across A2RL's social media and YouTube channels for those who didn't quite make the cut through the qualifiers, but still certainly have a lot to give, and hope to see them back again next year. Season 3 of A2RL confirmed. So the progression continues and being absolutely tested to its limits in a racing scenario. Team TUM on lap 19 then leading the way. Clear view in front of them. TII Racing have rather inherited and benefited from the Unimore and Constructor fates out of this race. We started with 6 cars, we're now down to 4. Polymove up into 3rd. Kinetis having made their way up into 2nd, but back out on track, having had a spin. What looked like cold tyres was the cause of that, but impressive to see it get back going again and rejoin this race with just a few more minutes left to run for this grand finale here in A2RL. Big prize pot up for grabs as well, over $2 million in total, and split across winning the grand finales and the qualifiers, participation too, and fastest lap as well, which Team TUM looks like it might well have just nabbed from Unimore, who did have it despite being out. So TUM still picking up the pace all the way to the bitter end.
Yeah, there is an award for the fastest lap delivered over the full sequence of events in A2RL this year, following the Polymove car as it makes its way around at the moment. Still relatively cool on tyre temperatures, we saw from the graphic there, so they'll be still having to manage the speed a little bit to make sure that they get there. But we're on to the final lap, Harry, as the Kinetis car makes its way through the final corner. It will not be the one taking the flag. Surely now Team TUM will be taking a 2nd victory in a row in A2RL.
Yeah, the reigning champions, well, they had it all to do at one point, started on pole and then got overtaken on the run down to this corner, and a really nice aggressive move from Unimore, who sadly then had a collision with Constructor, but Team TUM able to reclaim that position, reclaim P1, and round the final corner will take the final lap, will take the checkered flag. Team TUM, it's back-to-back wins for Team TUM, and Haley, the AI behind the wheel. Team TUM win after 20 laps here under the lights at Yas Marina Circuit, and a real display then of technological advancement, Alexander, with TII in 2nd and Polymove 3rd.
Absolutely. I think a deserved winner of this race. I mean, we have seen Unimore being slightly more aggressive in the beginning, taking the overtake on Team TUM. It was amazing to see what AI can deliver after 1 year, and compared to last year, we've seen impressive racing. But then, unfortunately for Team Unimore, just DNFing from a very complex decision-making process. Team TUM on the inside, attempting the overtake on Unimore, the slower car Constructor on the outside. It didn't work out this time. We've learned a lot for safety systems, that's for sure. But I would say Team TUM, definitely a worthwhile winner. TII Racing delivered the race. Polymove delivered the race to finish the race. Kinetis, a little sad, I must say. They've been competitive. They've been within range of the top 2 cars just before, but at least they have finished the race and they can clap on their shoulders.
Absolutely. There are your winners. Team TUM, just saw them a moment ago, and the cars should then, on this cool down lap, I believe they should stop outside that main grandstand, and you can hear the cheers from the packed out crowd that have been enjoying A2RL Season 2. Round of applause to everybody who's worked so hard over the course of this last year and a half at Team TUM, based in Munich, Germany. Autonomous racing veterans, they've been really working and developing this technology since before A2RL came into Season 1. Championed it straight from the beginning, led by team principal Markus Leenkamp and the team leader. So that was tight, wasn't it? That was a little bit close. TII car stopped, and then nothing, absolutely nothing between TII and Polymove. Whew. Was that perfect precision, Alexander, or was that a bit of a lucky escape?
I'd say that's the precision of AI, right? That's a nice move, and that's again AI deciding I need to move, but I just need to move so much I don't hit the other car.
I believe we can head over down in the pit lane, all in the action with our winner. Nikki's got him.
I have indeed. We're here now with Simon Sagmaster. Wow, what a race! I mean, how are you feeling watching that? 'Cause it's a little bit hairy at times.
Yeah, I think the race was a real roller coaster of emotions, with Unimore passing us on lap 2, then us catching up again, being so close to them, being in high-risk maneuvers behind them, and then also the first lapping went everything as expected, and then unfortunately on the second lapping they had an incident. We were the lucky ones this time, but I really want to state that they did an amazing job. They would have definitely... They should have won today as well. I think what they did, or what we all did today as a competition, was really good, and I'm pretty happy in the end that we were the lucky ones. But big congrats to everybody who participated today on what we have achieved.
Congratulations to you and Team TUM. Victorious for a second year, no mean feat. We're going to cross though now to Alex Blundell.
Yeah, I'm here with Giovanni Pau, the team principal of TII Racing. Firstly, what a fantastic result for you. You must be delighted.
Thank you. So we are very happy. The result is fantastic. Very, very incredible. The team did an amazing job. They worked day and night tirelessly. Yesterday night we spent the whole night trying to pull what happened today. And actually we were paid back at the end.
Hello A2RL, how are you all? I do trust you well. It is that time of the evening where we recognise 3 special awards that embrace the excellence and the ambition at the heart of A2RL. First up, the Sportsman Award presented by Abu Dhabi Ports and awarded by Mr. Abdullah Al-Hamali, CEO of Economic Cities and Free Zones, honouring the team whose conduct, collaboration and competitive integrity elevate the spirit of the championships. And the award for Sportsman's Award goes to TII Racing. Next up, the Ascent Award presented by DO and awarded by Mr. Fahad Al-Hassawi, CEO of DO, recognizing the team that has shown the most remarkable growth, determination and technical prowess throughout the race weekend. And the winner is Kinetics. And finally, the Fastest Lap Award presented by Miral and awarded by Mr. Farid Al-Kawani, Chief Commercial Officer, celebrating the team that's delivered the quickest, most precise and most strategically executed lap of A2RL race. And the winner is Unimore. So tonight we award the top 3 places. In third place, presented by His Excellency Faisal Abdelaziz Albana, to our third place team, Team Polymore. Make your way through to the podium. Give them a huge round of applause. They make their way there for the third place here of the A2RL Grand Finals. In second place, presented by Sheikh Mohammed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. They have fought an amazing race here at A2RL. And now in second place, Team TII Racing. And in first place, the winners of A2RL, presented by His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, presenting the first place trophy here at the iconic Yas Marina circuit. The winners of A2RL, give it up for Team TUM!
What have we just witnessed? A2RL 2025, the second season of the championship, putting on a proper show. It's myself, Alexander, still with me in our studio, and Alex Brundle has rejoined us for all the action in the pit lane. I mean, let's start with that fight for the lead, Alex. Straight off the bat, we had TUM on pole, but Unimore, we knew they were quick over one lap.
And it looked super aggressive from the beginning of the race, managing to make, of course, the overtaking move, which was so impressive to watch on track. Remembering that last year, the only way we were getting these cars to pass each other was for one effectively to slow down on the straight and the other to sweep around it.
We'll see the overtake, but first of all, let's hear from His Excellency Faisal Al Banai talking all about the mission of A2RL being achieved today and beyond.
Abu Dhabi and UAE at the moment seems to be the epicenter of autonomous, robotics and many other activities. And I think having an activity like this really engages the community, engages the research institutes and engages many players to really test autonomous to its extreme. So no better platform than the Formula One track.
Absolutely, and we can hear one out on the track now.
Yes.
How does A2RL then fit within Abu Dhabi's ambition to become a global centre for AI and autonomous technology?
I think A2RL, the Abu Dhabi Autonomous Racing League, is there to really push the boundaries on what can happen in autonomy, really get to improve what we think how autonomous systems are reliable and how autonomous system can perform in extreme conditions. I mean, if cars can race safely at extreme speeds in Formula One, then they can do a pretty good job in driving in normal streets. Although sometimes next to other drivers, I'm not sure, but at least this really pushes the boundary, this really pushes where comfort levels are, and I think it contributes to really the evolution of what's happening when it comes to autonomy and mobility.
Great to hear from His Excellency a little earlier on today here at Abu Dhabi. Of course, the sun has well and truly set now, and it was set on a pretty packed full day of racing, Alexander. I mean, let's talk about the overtake that we're building up to. I mean, we're really seeing here, the difference in the coding and the aggression or the not-so-aggression between teams here.
Definitely. We came with the anticipation that Gianna, the AI of the Unimore team, the Italian team, comes with more passion, comes with more emotions, comes with a code which actually is willing to take more risk, is willing to take the car more to the edge from early on in the race. I mean, Team Unimore, they currently hold the lap record here. So, and Team TUM, they knew about it. Haley, the AI of the Team TUM car, actually is known for being more conservative, more structured. So the car would improve lap by lap on this race. For Team TUM, it was all about surviving the first laps, and they knew about it. They knew about Gianna. They knew about Gianna will take it to the extreme and risk overtake and even risk like contact between the cars. And then we had seen it early on in the race. Within the first 3 laps, Gianna went for it on the inside, clearly taking it. And this is when TUM actually a little lost the edge because the car, Haley, had to decide to back off a little bit to not cause a crash. And that's when the race unfolded really.
Proper wheel-to-wheel racing, Alex, and it was a great move, and even on the defence as well from TUM, just having to back out of it slightly and be a bit cautious. They both had different lines entering that section of the track as well.
I mean, I wonder how far down the list of priorities it is to avoid the car which has just overtaken you, right? So you talk about doing laps at the limit, you talk about keeping the car out of trouble, building up tyre temperature. I reckon it must be low down the list, dodging the car that's just lunged you down the inside. But it's pretty impressive, actually, not only the overtake that was made by Unimore, but also to manage to keep that car out of trouble straight afterwards, and it's something we'd see play to their advantage later on in the race, Harry.
Absolutely, but you talk about trouble, and that is what we got, and we did have a collision, and we had a crash which ultimately put Unimore out of the race, and while being chased by TUM, because it was less than a second the gap, TUM was absolutely fighting back. Here we had a lapped car, the constructor AI car, and you can hear the heartbreak from the garage as well. I mean, Alex, just taking a look at this, your first reaction to it during the race, I mean, we're all in shock really seeing this.
Yeah, I mean, they'd already passed the constructor car once in the race. I think the Unimore car was pretty unfortunate here. There's a lot going on there. So you've got the TUM car looking to the inside, the Unimore car having to pass a car much slower than itself. And I think, in fairness to the constructor car, it's trying to get out of the way there and then meets the condition that he can't leave the racing surface. So, yeah, a little bit unfortunate for Unimore. TUM not only is slightly more conservative and in the way that it approaches the situation, but I think also, as a result of being second on the road, just has a little bit more time to process it with all of the sensory information that it gets. And it works out that TUM, of course, takes the lead back, and Unimore not only loses the lead, but finds himself out of the race.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got more to talk about, but we can hear from the advisor at Aspire, Alessandro Tucci, talking about the future.
Well, season 3 has been confirmed. It will be here again in Abu Dhabi, Yas Marina circuit next year, same period. But in addition to that, we have the ambition and the vision to go international. We are in talks with several tracks and events of motorsport to bring A2RL race and experience in Europe, in Latin America, and in North America.
Alex, back-to-back champions for Team TUM. Pole to the win. Of course, it wasn't as easy as that, but it really was elation for them in the back of the garage.
They've demonstrated clear ability, haven't they, over 2 years to be able to firstly make the car function in the first year more quickly, it's fair to say, than the rest of the field, and then grow with it into this year, of course, to a car which is almost as quick as a human driver. I think it was just under a second off Daniel Kvyat in the human versus AI challenge, and did 20 laps, even with a couple of obstacles thrown in the way to take victory. So it's really impressive, isn't it, as a scientific feat?
What an experience A2RL has been this year. Season 2 done and dusted, and confirmed for Season 3 as well. I mean, we've had wheel-to-wheel racing, we've had contact, we've had heartbreak, and we've set new autonomous records around this Yas Marina circuit, and we've still got a long way to go with this technology. It's going to be really exciting to follow it as it advances. My thanks to Alex, my thanks to Alexander for being alongside me here in the studio and calling all of the action. Thanks to you wherever you are in the world. We hope to see you again for next season, but for now I think I'll hand you back to Nikki.
Thank you, guys. Yes, what a night here at Yas Marina circuit. You can hear the excitement still extending. People are celebrating out on track. The atmosphere here is incredible. I wish you could be here to feel it. What an incredible race. Bit of a nail biter, to be honest. We weren't quite expecting what unfolded out on track, but overall it's been a huge success and a huge leap forward for the advancement of autonomous technology. Super exciting stuff here. A moment in history, dare I say. But that's from all of us here. That's it for now for this year. A2RL 2025 gone out with a bang. And on that note, I think it's only right that we cross to the fireworks show and the drone race. We'll see you next year. Take care.